Hi, good afternoon, good morning. This is the PhUSE Wednesday webinar for March 2018. I'm John Salter, I'm the PhUSE EMEA Director. I'll be running you through some slides, first off as a Board of Directors update, and then I will be passing you over to Chris Hurley, who will be giving you an update on the US Connect. If I could ask that people hold any questions until the end of the presentations, and then we can consolidate all of the questions thereafter. So, an update on our Connect over the course of the next year. The US Connect is running from the 3rd to the 6th of June. The early bird registration has closed, so if you need to register now, it will be at the full rate. Please look at the PhUSE website to download the flyer and any additional information. Please note that the Sheraton Rally is now sold out, but we do have other rooms available at the Rally Marriott City Centre. The EU Connect in Frankfurt is running from the 4th to the 7th of November. We say here registration is now open. It should open at close of business UK time today. Failing that, it will be open tomorrow. That's just a preempt for you there. Early bird registration due to close end of July, 27th of July. And the call for papers will close on the 30th of April. And we do have discounted rates available at the Maritime and Frankfurt Marriott. So a brief overview of the recent US CSS in Silver Spring. We had 272 attendees, 48 active projects within the working groups, which I think is a new record for us. We had a very successful BNFDA reviewer for a day session, 3 workshops, the linked data, the clinical and non-clinical SDRGs, and GitHub. We had 3 poster winners, which unfortunately I don't have to hand, but were PP14, PP15, PP33. And we had the outstanding achievement winners, who are pictured above in the screen. You can see Tim, Hanming, Patty, Helena, Bavin, Tony, and Bill. Whoops, excuse me. Okay, some upcoming single day events through April, May. We have 1 event towards the end of April in Boston in the US. In EMEA, we have the Frankfurt event on the 15th of May. Oh, excuse me, you also have the US event 17th of May in Collegeville. And then we have 3 events in the Asia region, in Tokyo, in India, and in China. So it's quite a busy month through May. Something here that we felt we needed to update the PhUSE membership on is that the PhUSE News newsletter will become electronic only as part of our shift towards embracing new technology and being a bit greener. The next issue is due on the 1st of June. If you wish to follow us on social media, we have a Twitter account, a Facebook account, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and you can see all the links therein. The next monthly mailing is due on the 3rd of April, and in preparation for all of our events, and indeed any updates you need to see from a PhUSE perspective, we do have the PhUSE app, which is available from both the Apple Store or Android from Google Play. Now, let me pass you over to Chris Hurley, who is now going to talk about EU events.
Thanks, John. Yeah, everybody, this is Chris Hurley, and I am PhUSE America's Director, and I want to maximize my screen so you guys can see, but it's not working very well. Here we go. Is that better, everybody? So I'd like to talk to you about the PhUSE Connect. It starts June 3rd this year. It's our inaugural conference, and I would love to extend the warm greetings and high regards from the Connect organizing committee, including Jim Johnson, who is on the call here, and I'll pass the ball to him in a little bit.
Chris, just to interrupt you, sorry. Your
Sure.
screen is showing the wrong screen at the moment. We're seeing the presenter bit rather than the full slides.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second. Let me make the change here. How's that, you guys? Is that better?
Perfect, yes.
Excellent. Okay, we'll go to the next slide. So the event is in Raleigh, North Carolina. For those of you that don't know, it's smack dab in the middle of the state, and it's going to be a lovely event with excellent weather. In June, it's beautiful, especially early June. So expect to have a good time in Raleigh. Some key dates for you guys, and some information here for registration. John mentioned the registration was closed. It closes at the end of the week for the early bird registration. So get in there by April 1st and get your early bird ticket price. We do have a special event. We have a poster session on the Sunday night, sponsored by DWise. That's going to be nice. We have a special dinner. The Connect dinner is going to be very fun. Jim's going to talk about the entertainment. Summit Analytical is kind enough to sponsor that session. Some more key dates. May 4th, if you have any papers or posters, you have to get those done and get those in. So get to work, everybody. Final presentation slides are required before the event, about a week before, and then the conference will begin on the 3rd. The agenda, we start Sunday afternoon. Okay, we'll have the registration and the speakers meeting followed by the poster session. So many people travel on Sunday, but it really is worthwhile to come in early to get there so that you can attend that poster session, because there are some very interesting posters and a lot of networking that goes on. So it's a very nice evening. I'd like to thank our sponsors for the event. You can see them here on this slide. The event goes all the way through Wednesday. Okay, and following the event, we're going to have a Meet the Board session. It's 1 o'clock Wednesday. And if you have any questions for the board or the future of PhUSE, or what are we going to get into going forward, anything, questions or complaints or anything, come visit, meet the board, and get your voice heard, because we really do love to hear from our members. We have an excellent lineup of exhibitors. Our entire team for the event, the organizing committee, we've had great volunteers, great work. Everything is on track, and it's been incredible. This is our inaugural event, the first time we've done this in the U.S., and it's really well organized. And I'd like to introduce to you Jim Johnson, who is the chair of the event, and Jim is an excellent taskmaster to make sure everything is going as planned and smoothly, and just he's planning a great event. And so I'd like to introduce Jim and thank Jim for all the hard work that he's done for this event.
Well, thank you, Chris. You passing to me?
Yep, I'm going to pass the ball. Let's see if I can do that. Let's see. Jane, could you pass the ball to Jim, please? I don't see him on my list here.
Are we good?
Yep.
Display settings, just duplicate slide. There we go. How are we looking?
Looks good.
All right. So, well, first of all, I'm Jim Johnson. I've been blessed and honored with being the first chair of the inaugural event in Connect in the U.S. Co-chairs are Jennifer True and Tarek Peterson, and an incredible, and I mean an incredible set of stream chairs. And you'll get to meet all of them. We're going to have just a little bit of an update from Mary on the management stream here in a minute, but I'd like to just take a minute or two to introduce some of the things that are going to happen. We have 2 keynotes that are going to be here. The first keynote is this the slide I want? Yeah. All right, something's locked up. All right, there we are. Okay, first keynote is Ian Kahn. Ian Kahn is a 3-time TEDx speaker. He is engaging. He is an incredible speaker about how we're moving in the future with technology. And given our technology theme, I think you will find him incredibly insightful and motivating. Take a look at his TED Talks. They're easy to find, and it's well worth coming prepared to see him. That's Monday morning. Tuesday morning, we are going to have Michael Rappa. Dr. Rappa is the founding director for the Institute for Advanced Analytics from North Carolina State University, which happens to be located here in Raleigh. Dr. Rappa is incredibly engaging about how big data is transforming the way we look at things. And he's the department head of an advanced analytics master's program that's about a year long at State. But more interestingly, he is going to talk to us about highly successful data science teams. And what, just to give a little flavor about this, a couple of the things that they do at the Institute is they take on projects, some from government agencies, some from private industry. And he is going to talk about a highly productive data sciences team that did a lot of data mining with one of them 3-letter acronyms, if you know where I'm heading with that. I think it starts either with an N or a C, but I'm not really sure. We'll hear from Dr. Rappa, very, very engaging speaker. The streams we have are fairly standard to PhUSE, if you will. A couple of minor changes you're going to see on here. Statistics is now analytics, big data and statistics, and we have an enormous number of papers in this coming up. So there's going to be a lot that's going to carry through with that. Coding tips and tricks, we know about data handling, wide array of papers on data handling techniques. We have quite a bit of interest in governance, standards and standards implementation. You'll see one in there called strategy and programming. We're putting that one in this year, and that is from the ones that came in that were non-specific, but when we found a nice selection of papers to come in about how you strategically program and how you can become more efficient in that stream. Highly interesting set of streams coming along. Management stream, we got a great poster session on Sunday night. Everything's filled, which is even more interesting because we had an excess amount, and you'll see that in a minute. Regulatory stream this year is actually going to be probably twice the size of what you're normally used to seeing. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that. We have a large number of papers and contributions from regulatory authorities, including the US FDA and others. And we'll see quite a bit of work on trends in technology here. I wanted to this was what blew away. I mean, we were blown away when we saw this. We actually got a total of 261 papers submitted. And I can only tell you that the paper review meeting was incredibly long, very challenging, and we were able to select 168 total. We're going to have 135 podium presentations, and then we have the rest on a poster session on Sunday night. So there is a lot to see, and it is going to be a jam-packed 3 days here. I can't tell you that I cannot overemphasize that the quality of the papers that we saw submitted was just, it mirrors what we see in Europe. And I'm really, really pleased to see that for the inaugural event here in the US. Okay, why North Carolina? Well, notwithstanding the fact that it's in the middle of the Atlantic coast, it's halfway between Florida and Boston area, if you will. It's got great airports to get in and out. For those that are flying into Raleigh, you can get here most of the time in just one flight. But there were 5 reasons to come. One of them here is barbecue. We have the best barbecue in the world. So, and that's just my opinion, but I'm slightly biased since I've been here 34 years. So I would strongly recommend you come a little early on Sunday, get here about early mid-afternoon, and walk downtown Raleigh. There are 4 or 5 barbecue places within an easy stroll down Fayetteville Street, that you can go and enjoy North Carolina barbecue. We have a Monday night social event, and this is sponsored by Summit Analytical. And we're going to have a little bit different theme. It's going to be a beach music thing. And for our European colleagues, we're going to teach you a new dance. We won't mention it here. But we have booked arguably the best beach band in one of the best beach bands in the United States, the Band of Oz, and they will be 8 o'clock to about midnight on Monday night. You will enjoy it. It's everything from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. Incredible set of music, great fun on Monday night, and it is really one of the best reasons to come to North Carolina. I can't say enough about our stream chairs and co-chairs. We have got great people organizing this. The sessions are going to be engaging. We've got good regulatory attendance. There's going to be a lot of extension of things that you saw at the CSS meetings, and we're moving forward on that. I am totally looking forward to meeting everybody who comes to the US Connect in Raleigh. And I am going to now hand off to Mary. Mary, you should have it.
This is Mary Varghese. I'm just getting ready, so just give me 1 minute. Can all of you see my desktop?
Yeah, we're good, Mary, go.
Okay. So the management work stream is planned to have the sessions on Monday, June 4th. So the agenda for the meeting shows on the screen. And these sessions are management sessions are coordinated by James Gunter, James McDermott, as well as myself. So the first session will be on the innovation, and which will be facilitated by James Gunter. And then the second session is also on the design thinking, which will be facilitated by the James McDermott. And the third session includes talent management as well as a panel discussion. As we go through the slides, you can see that we will have a really great team of panelists that will be included at that. So talent management will be facilitated by James Gunter, and the panel discussion will be facilitated by me. So looking at very high level from the innovation, what will be covered at this session, the speakers for this sessions are again very well-known speakers. They are John and Christopher. And from high level, what they were planning to discuss is this session is kind of provides you provides an overview of transforming business through the technology innovation. And the presentation will demonstrate the multiple points of risk in the journey from an informative vision to the technology innovation. So this is a very interesting topic, and also, from thinking about innovation from outside of the programming perspective. So it will be a very interesting topic. And then next speaker we have is Todd, and this is just looking at from a real world studies, just looking at the real world data in a product life cycle, and looking at the data itself and providing a wide range of overview of the research questions and methods. So it's a little bit more hands-on and give you some kind of case studies to illustrate how the studies using real world data may be very useful, and when they may be necessary, and how they can be lead to enormous conclusions when not done carefully. So this is very interesting, more like looking at the data itself and kind of giving a little bit more insight into how the innovation works. Then the second section is more into design thinking. You can see that, again, we have a wide range of speakers at this meeting: Ian, Crystal, Carl, and Chris. So again, high-level overview from the perspective, what will be discussed at this meeting is answering the business questions through structured ideation. And also this session will provide, address the problems in our clinical trial cycle as an example, and explore several techniques for the design thinking process and show how they can be applied. Again, this is not a heads down programming anymore. How do you think more than that as you're working in your day-to-day life? And the third session is, again, in the first one, it will be on talent management. Then we will move into the panel discussion. For the talent management, it is Mike who will be the speaker. And again, he will be going into saying that, being a really good manager requires different skill set rather than a good manager, good programmer. So in previous years that everybody used to be more like a heads down programmer, then you become a manager. But with the technology and everything is moving forward, it is more than how do you sharpen the skills that you need to become a people's manager rather than a technical manager. Then the panel discussion will include Mike, who is already done the session on the talent management session. He was the speaker for that session, and Benedict. He leads the global data sciences and analytics department at Bayer. And John, he again was the speaker for the innovation session. And Mark, he is the executive vice president and the general manager of Chilton. And Darren, he is the VP and head of the integrated data analytics and reporting at J&J. So as you can see, we are very excited that there's really a good forum of speakers who is coming together to talk about innovation. How do you think outside the box, and how do you move from a programmer to a manager kind of role? So it gives you a wide range of thinking on the management work stream. So Jim McDermott and James and myself are very excited to have this session. That's my end of my slide. So I will pass the presentations to Kanchana. Kanja, just give me a minute. Okay, Kanja, you should have the presentation now.
Yes. So I'm going to tell you something about the EU Connect, which will take place in Frankfurt in 2008. Our topic is Future Forward because we are having so many topics which are related to our changing future, and a lot of things and technologies will change our world. So we will have a lot of presentations about this. So at the EU Connect, we also, our core business are the streams. We are running presentations in 30-minute slots, but additionally we have this year planned for 60-minute presentations, which are the so-called lecture sessions. And these are major educational presentations. So this provides the streams really to select presentations to dive deeper into specific topics, which are currently of interest. So what streams do we have? We do have the daily business streams, so things where typically the most people in our area are working in. So it's analytics and statistics, it's data standards and governance, standards implementation, data handling, as well as submissions and agencies. Then we have more technical topics, which are application development, coding tips and tricks, scripts and macros, and software demonstrations. We do have future-looking streams, which are data visualization, trends and technology. And new in this year, we have the machine learning stream, which will also be presented further later on. We also have hands-on workshops, the management stream and a career development stream, and also related stream for our current working environment, which is also becoming more and more important, which is the real-world evidence. And also new this year, the analytical risk-based monitoring, where we also will hear more later on. So next to the streams, the hands-on workshop we have planned are 5. We will have an R workshop, a workshop about linked data, which is very popular. So we are also going to have this year. We're having a CDISC workshop, the CSS Discussion Club, and brand new this year is also a machine learning workshop. So if you're interested in machine learning, there will also be a workshop available which you can visit at the EU Connect. In the management stream, we have planned already 2 sessions. The third session is still under discussion. The first topic will be about managing the workforce of the future. Because of the new technologies and adapting to new technologies, our workforce is really in a changing area. So this will discuss this topic in this management stream. And the second point will be about changing legislation and its impact on the pharmaceutical industry, which also concentrates mainly about the general data protection regulation, which is coming up and which also will change on how we can work. Then we also have keynotes. The keynotes are already planned. We have Kirk Bourne, who is a data scientist, and he is a very big influencer in big data and machine learning and artificial intelligence. So it will be very interesting to hear him. We will have Luke Simon. He's leading a charity for schools, which is really, really great. And then we also will hear something about the patient. I mean, we are creating medicines, and we do our science to really improve the life of the patients. And we will hear from Emma Lawton. We will hear the viewpoint from the patient's perspective. She's having Parkinson, and she will tell us her story. Next to these very important points, we also have networking, of course, which is the core of the conferences PhUSE has. It's really great to have the opportunity to meet colleagues from other companies, to build up connections for further experiences, and really to discuss and get insights. Especially if you do a presentation at the PhUSE conference, it's really great that after you present, you will get other colleagues asking you questions, and you can discuss your topic further on, and also connect with colleagues from other companies. And of course, you also can see what's on the market. We do have a lot of exhibitors, so you can get a broad overview about what's available on the market. And of course, we have also a beautiful location, which is Frankfurt in Germany. Germany is a very good place to stay, I can say, by living in Germany. Frankfurt has a very beautiful skyline, and I really love the river, so there's also a wonderful possibility to walk right at the river. And the conference hotel, it's no conference hotel, it's a conference place, which is a Cup Europa, also provides a very excellent meeting room capacities, so it will be very light, and it will be very nice rooms where we can meet and greet and learn. So these are all the things you can see and learn at the EU Connect. This is planned for now. There might be other things coming up. And just to finish with some timelines, the call for papers is already open. The registration likely will start today or tomorrow. The early bird, as mentioned already, runs to the 27th of July, and the conference itself is in November from the 4th to the 7th. So really, the future is looking forward. And now we will hear more about the machine learning stream from Azad.
Good morning and good afternoon to everyone on the webinar. This is Azad Degan. I'm one of the co-chairs this year in the machine learning stream. This is going to be a very, very short introduction to it. So this is the first year we're running this stream, and hoping to get some exciting submissions for this exciting topic. I would like to have you help to disseminate the call for papers for this stream. So let's carry on. So a quick overview then. What we're looking for is applications of statistical learning, or better known as machine learning and artificial intelligence. mainly around real-world use cases that are related to patient safety and outcomes. Also, in terms of clinical research and development, we would like this to be focused on the methodological aspect so that attendees can learn more of how these methods are used and in industry. I have a few examples here of real-world cases that I hope to talk more about during the conference. So examples include predicting clinical trial patients that are prone to experience esophagitis toxicity, specifically predicting toxicity grades, for example, using CTCAE. Pharmacovigilance, so monitoring of side effects of drugs in textual data, in clinical narratives of social media, the identification and anonymization of clinical trial documents, and drug repurposing, so discovering the use of available medication for treatment of unintended disease and conditions. So these are all real-world use cases that are used in some aspect within the pharma industry. So as you see, there is already wide use of machine learning applications within this space. Thank you. That's all. I'll pass the presenter role to Sina.
Thank you so much. And 1 second, let me go to presenter mode. So again, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sina Jali. I'm the head of Risk Management Central Monitoring at Janssen Pharmaceuticals. And similar to machine learning, this is also a new stream for PhUSE, and we hope to have lots of good presentation and abstracts coming our way in the next month or so. The purpose of stream is really to evaluate the role of analytics and programming in a new discipline, which is risk-based management and monitoring clinical trials. There has been a lot of conferences, a lot of buzz around the topic of risk-based monitoring and risk-based management. However, what is lacking at the moment, there is a voice of how you leverage data and information and analytics in real time to be able to demonstrate solid ways of having oversight of your trials. And a successful risk-based management program, we find, is really dependent on transparent dissemination of information at every level of clinical operation organizations. When you're talking about data quality, data reproducibility, you're really talking about making sure that you reduce your error rate, you reduce the number of deviations that you have, and analytics and advanced programming are really can bring in a lot of value in this space using data from multiple data sources, IVR, EDC, ePro, etc. Wearables are becoming big in a lot of the departments, a lot of studies that we are currently running. However, at the moment, there are a lot of companies who come up with solutions, but they're really remaining focused on operation metrics and the maturity, analytical maturity model is on an ascending phase, but there's room for improvement and advances. So, what the stream is designed to is to explore innovative approaches. We would like to talk about how you can implement successful access to critical sources in real data but not just for the sake of access, but making sure that we provide an analytical framework for successful decision making. And we would like to make sure that we have a platform not only at this meeting, but at subsequent forums to have a discussion with data scientists to share best practices and experiences in this space. And Jane, who do I need to pass the ball to next?
If you can pass it to me,
Sorry,
Chris Price.
Yeah, it's Chris, sorry.
Chris Price, okay, sorry. Thank you. All right. Done.
Thank you very much. Hopefully I'm showing the right screen in the actual PowerPoint itself. Thanks, Jane. So yes, my name is Chris Price. I'm one of the PhUSE working group directors, along with Scott Balavouni. We were appointed back in August, and we've been busy working away there to really look at our working group structure, to really make sure that we're continuing to meet the PhUSE mission and the PhUSE working group's mission in particular. So PhUSE working group mission is there to really provide us with an open, transparent and collaborative forum in a non-competitive environment where regulators, life science companies, technology providers, standards development organizations and academia can address unmet computational science needs impacting product development and regulatory review, importantly to improve human health. So we've been looking at that for the last few months, and we're now pleased to announce that we have introduced a new structure that we hope will help us address that. Before moving on to that, just sharing a little bit in terms of the partnerships that we have that are partly driven out of the working groups. We have regulators with the likes of EMA, PMDA, FDA, and Health Canada, standards development organizations like CDISC and HL7, and other organizations in the pharmaceutical space who we do partner with to drive efforts forwards where we can collaborate together as mutual beneficial to all organizations. So the new structure will replace this, which is our existing structure. So there are 4 working group frameworks: the computational science collaboration, data transparency, the future forum, and the KPIs. And what we want to do is ensure that all the working groups have appropriate visibility and really to help continue to foster those key partnerships on that side. Each of these different frameworks were driven by different objectives, but by bringing them together, we hope we can actually take advantage of natural synergies that exist across the PhUSE working groups. And all of these are driven by volunteers, and we need to make sure we're as efficient, transparent as possible to maximize your time at our volunteers. So this is the CF collaboration. There's 5 working groups that's there: educating for the future, emerging trends and technology, non-clinical topics, optimizing the use of data standards, standard analyses and code sharing. And there's lots of projects that sit underneath all of those. In total, in this space, it's our most active area. There are currently 36 projects ongoing. The other PhUSE working groups fit onto one slide, and there's 11 projects ongoing there. So there's data transparency. There's 2 working groups under the Future Forum, which is people and processes and interoperability and technology, and lastly, KPIs. So I've alluded to it in that everything coming together under a single structure. So this will be our new structure. So with Scott and myself providing the link to the PhUSE Board of Directors and a steering committee made up of individuals who lead the individual working groups and other large members, and moving to having 6 working groups. overall on that side. So the data transparency remains its own working group. That's obviously a very important area for us, working both with EMA and more recently starting to look at working with FDA in that space. And the rationale here is that there's natural synergies that exist across the different PhUSE working groups. And it really matches that natural trajectory that's sort of grown out of the computational science collaboration, where projects have become much more global, and really looking at what we can do to advance clinical research and all the regulatory science behind that on that side. So what that actually means is obviously data transparency is new. We've moved a project into data transparency from optimizing the use of data standards, a project relating to the general data protection regulations. The Future Forum current work projects have moved into educating for the future, and emerging trends in technology has picked up the interoperability and technology project going on from Future Forum, and also the work that's going on in KPIs, giving us a total, at the last count, of 47 ongoing projects under that single steering committee. The other working groups remain as they are, and we will continue to add more projects as we move forward on that. Another area where we are currently looking to set up, and we're hoping to set this up during the course of this year, is a strategic partnership advisory panel where we can pull together key partners, where we can really ensure that we have alignment between PhUSE and our strategic partners, and look to identify some other opportunities where we can leverage a collaboration to really help advance clinical research and regulatory science. So currently we're discussing with our partners within regulatory, the standards development organizations, around setting this up at this time. So what that means for everybody else is what does that mean in terms of joining a project? Nothing changes on that side. And actually, really what we'd like to do is really encourage people to join a project. It's a great opportunity to network. It's a great platform to share knowledge and ideas, to produce deliverables that are used across industry and beyond. It's an opportunity to collaborate with FDA and other regulatory authorities. It's great for career growth, and they've been the authors of many abstracts, posters, and deliverables. And there's a lot more reasons. Most notably, I would say it's actually fun. And finally, you sort of say, how do we do that? If you want to get stuck in, you want to join a project, you want to produce a deliverable, there's a website there's a page on the PhUSE website where there's some new project ideas that are out there which are actively seeking volunteers. All the current projects can be found on the PhUSE wiki, and equally, if you're interested in joining one of those, please reach out to the leads there. And if you do want any more information, please feel free to contact Wendy at the PhUSE office. So that's wendy@phuse.eu. And just want to do a quick plug for Wendy in that she's recently promoted to a project manager within the PhUSE office, and she's a really great helping us to coordinate all of these projects together. So on that note, I'm going to hand over to Kevin.
Great. Okay, I got that. Chris, can you see my screen, or can you hear me?
I can indeed, both.
Okay, great. Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Kevin Lee. I'm currently lead machine learning and artificial intelligence project at this moment. So the machine learning and AI project is sub-project of educating for future working groups. The goal of this working group is to develop the framework that the PhUSE community could learn and share the idea. So it is a design thinking and data engineer and finally machine learning and AI projects. So the question is, so what is a machine learning? The machine learning is basically application that machine is able to learn, improve from the experiences without being explicitly programmed. The keyword here is actually without being explicit programs. What that means is that if there is any changes or any updates, usually we update the programs. But in machine learning, you don't have to update the programs. Data will take care of it. So why is a machine learning or AI so popular nowadays? First of all, it is very cost effective. Andrew Ng, he's a co-founder of the Coursera, and he actually studied the Google Brain, and he was a data chief scientist at the Baidu. Right now, he actually running that machine learning fund at this moment. He said that pretty much anything that a normal person could do or think in 1 second, we could now automate with AI or machine learning. Which means that in the next 5 to 10 years, there will be a lot of automation by machine learning or AI, and it could replace or enhance human labors. In many cases, machine learning is also more accurate than human beings, and also it could solve a lot of complex problem that we never saw before. So how is a machine learning application in our daily lives? We actually see every day, such as Siri or Alexa, Google Home, and voice recognition systems, or recommendation in the Amazon or Netflix or Spotify. Even customer service that we actually log in. Now that we actually thought that we're talking to the representatives, but actually we're talking to humans on chatting services. And then there is a cashless shopping like Amazon Go, and then AlphaGo that actually beat the best Go players, and also autonomous vehicle that a lot of companies try to build nowadays. So what about that machine learning application in pharma industry? Recently, a lot of pharma companies try to apply machine learning to reduce the timeline and also expedite the drug development and discovery. So there's a lot of application is applied nowadays, or at least developing nowadays, is a drug discovery and drug candidate selections, and also clinical trial systems, optimizations, and image recognition, and medical diagnosis. And then they'll be also working on optimum site selection and recruitment, and data anomaly detections, and also eventually personalized medicines. So what about the adoption in machine learning AI in pharma industry? It is still very slow compared to other business, such as Facebook or Apple, Amazon. The pharma is far behind in those technology companies. The main reason is that there is regulatory restrictions and also machine learning black box changes. In pharma industry, you have to prove from point A to point B to FDA. So how you got this result. But there is a black box feature, the machine learning, that you cannot really prove that how you get to the certain point. You just know you got there, but you don't know how to get there. So there is probably biggest weakness about the machine learning is that there is a black box feature. There's something that's really hard to explain to other people. We just know it's accurate, but it's not really easy to explain. And also a lot of AI startup companies are building up nowadays to aiming to help the pharma industry. The market of healthcare in machine learning AI is developing really, really fast. Right now, it's about $320 million in USA and maybe another 300 million in Europe in the current market at this moment. And it is expected to grow about 40% annual rate. And eventually, year 2024 is about $10 billion market. But the problem is that there are a lot of short in talent and technologies. And then another thing is that one third of the world data actually coming from healthcare. So there will be a lot of challenges. At the same time, there will be a lot of opportunities. So this machine learning in AI project, we start this project because we want to take advantage of these opportunities. First, we want to raise awareness in machine learning and AI in pharma industry. And then we want to introduce machine learning education, and also we want to curate machine learning materials so that programmers and statisticians are able to learn and able to share the idea about machine learning. And eventually we want to write the white papers and also do some machine learning projects. In order to do that, we need more help, like volunteers and also experts. Time to time, people ask me about that, do I know about machine learning? And sometimes it's kind of funny that they kind of expect me to know about machine learning because my background, programming, statistics, and work with the data all the time. I'm sure that a lot of us actually get asked about, do you know about machine learning? Whether we like it or not, machine learning or AI will change our industry. And then I want biostatistics and biometric department to lead this innovation in pharma industry. That's the reason actually we start machine learning and AI project in PhUSE to help biometric department, programmer, and statistician to know about the machine learning and AI, and also lead this innovation in pharma industry. If you compare pharma industry and other industry, there is no biometric department like pharma in other industry. We know about programming, statistics, and data. And by those knowledge, with more about machine learning understanding, we are able to lead this innovation in pharma. So these are our leaders about the machine learning and AI projects. Nicolas Dupius, he's based on Europe area. And my name is Kevin Lee. I'm based in USA. And Wendy is helping us a lot in the project management about machine learning. So we are the one actually studying this project. However, we actually get a lot of member volunteer at this moment. So you could either contact Nicolas or Kevin or Wendy for volunteer for this project and help us this project so that we could actually innovate together. Okay, once again, thank you for joining this our webinar. And then let me back to John, right?
That's correct.
Yes,
Yes,
John, please. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, John, now it's on you.
Thank you. Hopefully you can see my screen. I only really have one brief update, which is the confirmation of the next webinar Wednesday, which will be on the 25th of April 2018. We'll be looking at, similar to today's presentations, some working group project updates and a review of the CSS 2018 review and feedback. Same time, same place, 10 a.m. US, 3 p.m. UK, and 4 p.m. Europe. Before we close, we did receive a couple of questions. Now, these can probably be concatenated into one, so I will read these out. I think Chris Price is probably best placed to answer these. But the questions we received regarding the working groups were, are each of the projects a working group in themselves, or are they projects within a working group? How do we volunteer for these working groups? And then a follow-up question, that's the same kind of thing. How do people join the groups? And if people were in previous groups, are they assumed to continue, or do we need to re-register again? So Chris, if I could possibly hand that over to you, I'll let you answer that.
Yeah, thanks, John. So so within the working groups there are a number of projects. So I think that hopefully answers the first one. And in terms of volunteering, you can find contact details of the working group leads on the PhUSE wiki. Otherwise, you can drop an email if you're interested in joining a particular project to wendy@phuse.eu, and she'll be able to put you in contact with the relevant project lead or working group lead on those. So if you were previously assigned to a working group but haven't received any material in a while and you think there might be something of interest going on, again, reach out to Wendy and she'll be able to make sure that you get all the relevant information.
Okay, thanks for that, Chris. Well, we are at time, if not slightly over. I'd like to thank each of the presenters today for your presentations and your time. I hope to see you all again, virtually speaking, on the 25th of April. And thank you very much for attending. I'll consider this the end of the webinar.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks all.